This is Starcast, the official podcast of your Billingham Stars. Watch and listen for the very latest news and interviews from within the Big Red Machine.
Very warm welcome to Starcast, the official podcast of your Billingham Town Council sponsored Billingham Stars. I have a thing there. It's been 2 weeks. Glad to have you back. I'm on location once again in Sheffield with England and Scotland under 13s, under 14s, 15s and 16s. It's been a weekend of tournaments here in Sheffield. But we're here to catch up on all things Billingham Stars. And we have Carol and Jono alongside. Afternoon, evening, Merry Christmas, and great to see you again. Everything okay with you guys?
Yeah, everything's
all
great.
Good.
Everything's very good in the Billingham world, we are sure. So we've got a few things to catch up on. Anything first, Christmassy? Was Santa good to you, Carol?
Santa was awesome to me. Santa bought me new Stars merch, so that's always good. I'm wearing my new bobble. Available at all good merchandise tables near you in the forum.
However, did Santa know that you like bobble hats, Carol? I never know.
Pass. He must have been on the nice list this year.
Yeah, Santa knows his stuff. Jono, were you a good boy as well? You on the nice list?
Yeah, as always, you know me.
Any good prezzies?
Yeah, just the usual. I'm out of my age now, socks and all, yeah, chocolates and money, and I got myself a nice socky as well.
Very good. I got a weekend in Sheffield, which is,
joy.
Speaking of weekend in Sheffield, no, we'll get that later. So we've got 2 weekends of games to catch up on. We've got the Deeside away game and then the Whitley doubleheader from the weekend just gone. We look at the results and tables that we've missed since the last episode, catch up on some league tables, the Cup semi-finals layout. The dates are, try again. I've not done this for 2 weeks and I'm forgetting how to speak. The Cup fixtures are confirmed for the semi-finals. Dates still to be confirmed, but we'll talk about that later. We've got one game coming up this coming weekend as we start 2025. And then instead of any other business, we'll have a little section at the end to talk about 2024 in general. But we'll start 22nd of December, before Christmas. And it was a trip down to Deeside, a win for the Billingham Stars. A solid road performance for the Stars. And Carol, do you want to take this one? Your first thoughts on the win in Deeside?
Actually feels like ages ago. And I'm just thinking it's like a week ago, and it feels like it was last month sometime. It's bizarre, isn't it? Christmas is always a bit weird. Absolutely couldn't fault the lads for the effort and the performance that they put in Deeside. To come up against that particular side, to come up against some, let's say, below par officiating, to come up against, the whole thing seemed to be a little bit stacked against us, but we're made of tougher stuff than that these days. So we go in there. We've got obviously Ian Brown. We've got the remnants of the lurgy still hanging around, and God knows it is hanging around. And just to pull it out of the bag like that and actually make Deeside on their own ice look fairly ordinary. I didn't see too much of Big W for sure. I'm struggling to put it into words because it wasn't the best I've seen us play, but at the same time, you can't really go into a rink like Deeside and not bring your A game and expect to get anything. So it was a really big performance at the end of the day, and one that I'm eternally grateful we came out with 3 points.
Yeah. Because Jono, you've said at the start of December that the run in and these 3 games were going to be huge. The Deeside away game, the Whitley doubleheader, and to bring the 3 points back from North Wales, key goals at big times, and then a solid defence to kind of hold out and take the 3 points home.
Yeah, an absolute quality performance. I think Carl was trying to struggle at there. I think the only thing you could put on it was just business-like. that close to Christmas, your mind could be elsewhere. You should be doing things with a family. It is literally 3 days before Christmas. But to travel down there to put that level of performance in was absolutely fantastic. Like I say, the lurgy was still lingering. It wasn't having, it has its deep effects that it had in Nottingham, but it was still lingering. But to put that performance in, to be that professional and clinical, to do the job the way we did, was mightily impressive. And with no Ian Brown and Jacob being injured as well, it was also going to be a big night for Mark Turnbull. And my God, did he stand on his head as well?
Yeah, I was just calling up the game sheet to have a look. Mark was, like you say, Mark in there, 32 shots, 28 saves, and made big saves at important times as well, because Deeside did have a lot of pressure, did have a lot of power play time, and but Mark came up huge and showed what an important asset he is between the pipes. He's not just a backup goalie; he's a big part of that blue line and that defence, Carol.
Yeah, all kudos to Mark for not only stepping up at Deeside, but obviously he's had 2 out of the 3 games over this festive period, and he's not put a foot wrong. He's been absolutely immense. I can't remember whether it was Foz or Mikey. I think it was Foz on the interviews yesterday. Just said it just proves that actually we've probably got the best netminding duo in the league. To be able to have faith in whichever netmind you put in is a godsend, really. And he's done exactly what he was asked to do in both of the games that he was put in for. Oh, sorry, I've done my usual. My little iPad's fell over. Sorry,
Laptop's fallen over. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, but no, Mark was huge in that game, and we'll just talk about the goals as well. We didn't go through the game sheet. So goals for Billingham Stars. Rowlands opened the scoring Rowley on 4.5 minutes, Sykesy on the PP, and then in the half hour it was Lucas Dowdle, and then 10 minutes to go, Tommy Spraggan, Shuggy on the power play, and then Sykesy with the empty net goal to make it 6-4 final for the Billingham Stars. We've said it before, and we'll say it again, no doubt, when we talk about the Whitley games, but the travelling support, Jono, huge pre-Christmas. The guys making the effort to go down to North Wales and supporting the boys, and they kind of responded and giving them the performance. Yeah,
I was hugely impressed with the crowd that was there on Sunday night in Deeside. I was only not long off playing a few hours myself, and thinking I'm probably going to be one of 5 or 6 that have travelled. I remember being one of 2 or 3 over the years, but to see 40, 50 people travel that far on a Sunday night, 3 days before Christmas, is an absolute testament to where the team are playing, because the fans want to be there every week, supporting them, cheering them on, and want to be entertained by them.
Yeah, no, it's been a thing for the last couple of years of support, and even I was saying people this week in the build up to the Whitley games, still people are coming. It's my first game. I'm really excited, and we're still getting these newbies, which is still remarkable to me that people are still finding out about the Billingham Stars, but it's great to have them on board, and hopefully they'll stay along for the ride for good. Anything else on Deeside? I'd say a 6-4 win, a huge fill up to go into the Christmas break, such as it was, 4 days. But anyway, anything else from the Deeside from the both of you?
Yeah, don't talk to Deeside women; they get a bit touchy.
Yeah.
Now, John, I'm sure you were your normal charming self.
I was very polite.
having just reacclimatized from Seaton Carew, where you'd been on holiday, to North Wales. Yeah,
well, never mind.
Yeah,
strange things happening in strange places.
Yeah, no, but it was job done all around. 3 points home for the Billingham Stars, and that took us into Christmas. No rest for the wicked though. Normally it's a shutdown for our division, but there were a few games, and ours were 2 of them head-to-head, double header, or whatever you want to call it, against the Whitley Warriors, and 2 wins for the Billingham Stars. We'll talk the stats. We'll do the stats to both games, and then we'll talk about the weekend as a whole, because there was a cup. I mean, this isn't it, but it might as well be. It was a cup. So we have a trophy to talk about.
I really hope that got left in the changing room.
So we'll talk about Saturday first. A Saturday home game at the Forum, a full house as well. Every seat pretty much filled, all 777, give or take a handful, but they were standing downstairs. So we're claiming a full house on Saturday night. Warriors actually opened the scoring in the 10th minute. A nice tip in by Jamie Ord. And then the final minute of the period, pressure from the Billingham Stars, finally told. Lucas Dowdle tapping home a rebound from Ian Brown's shot in 19 minutes and 9 seconds. And then just 19 seconds later, that top line, Elder to Sykes across to Ian Brown, back from his Christmas break, an assist on the first goal, potted the second goal, 2 points in the first period, 40 goals in 21 games. Welcome back, Ian Brown. Third period, second period even, can't even count anymore. Middle period, Mikey, unassisted marker, making it 3-1. A power play goal from Sykes through traffic, 4-1 in the 44th minute, and then a late one from Phil Edgar, reducing the race to 4-2. But a 4-2 final. Ryan Wardell, 46 saves on 50 shots for the Warriors, and Jacob Hammond back between the pipes. He faced 33 shots and 31 saves. We'll talk Sunday quickly, and then we'll talk about all of the games in unison. What do I mean? Togetherness, yeah. You can tell I'm prepped well for this, can't you? So another big crowd at Hillheads. I've been in Sheffield for 2 days. My head's gone. That's fine. Perfect start for the Stars. An early power play, and James Moss opened the score in just the second minute. Start of period 2, Billingham had just killed off a double minor on Mark Turnbull, which we'll talk about. But then Rowley making it 2-0. A short-handed goal from Michael Elder, answering a goal from Kyle Ross for Whitley, and then a second short-hander goes down as unassisted, but he did get past the puck, Sean Galloway, but we'll talk about that as well. 10 minutes from time. There was shenaniganery in the final 10 minutes, which again we'll talk about, but it finished 4-1 to the Billingham Stars. 6 points, a playoff place is secured, cup place in the top of the table, 12-point gap at the top of the league table, and the Tees Tyne Trophy. Who wants to start from the weekend as a whole? John, we'll start with you, John. Carol led with the Deeside game, so you can start with the Whitley. Your thoughts on the Whitley weekend?
Obviously buzzing to have the points in the bag. That's the first and foremost. Confirming cup qualification as well, and that top spot as well. Secondly, important. I won't talk about the trophy. I hope it's got left in the changing room, if I'm being honest. It's a bit of a sour thing to put on 2 big important league games for me, but that's a conversation for another day. But as for the Stars' performance, I think Saturday we were not at our best by any means. I think you can tell there was a training session missed, but still far too good for the Warriors. We went 1-0 down to a fine goal from I think you said Ord scored the tip in. It was a fine goal from a shot off Wood. Got Jacob moving from left to right, and then put it between his legs. It was a great finish, but I was always confident. I just knew we were going to win it. I just knew the chances were going to come. And I think from that moment, I think the key word was relentless, because we just came and came and came. It was just wave and a wave of attack. And Stars then did what Stars do best, to score a goal, and then 15, 16 seconds later, there's a second goal. And quite frankly, another 10 seconds later, James Moss nearly made it 3, and that was like nearly 3 in 30 seconds. The atmosphere in the arena was, on both nights, was very, very weird. It was like the Warriors fans were just sat waiting for the inevitable to happen, which is not usually them. They're normally loud, intimidating, no matter what. But no, they just seem to be sat back, just waiting for it to happen and unfold in front of their eyes. And gladly, it wasn't the score lines that we would have hoped, but from their behalf, Ryan stood on his head on Saturday and kept the scoreline very, very respectable at 4-2. And again, same for yesterday, Sunday. They made it 2-1, and I still wasn't again in any doubt how the game was going to pan out. even when they went 2-1 up, it was a bit of magic from Carl Ross. What a finish that was, straight in the top corner. Fantastic finish from a fantastic young player. But other than that moment and the goals on Saturday, which were two bits of individual brilliance, the Warriors just lost of ideas and any idea, and we know the Stars will punish you if you just give us half a chance. So when goalies go and try and lob it over the blue line, they don't succeed, they are going to get punished for that. But on the whole, I think it was a good performance from the Stars, but you could see there's a training session missing, and we weren't firing on all cylinders. And on the whole, it was probably a good thing for the Warriors because it could have been 2 cricket scores.
Yeah. And Carol, I think that Fuzzy mentioned it, and Mikey did, I think, in both of their post games on Sunday, the kind of rustiness being obviously coming straight from a game, having Christmas, having no training, and going straight into a derby. And the derby cliches still apply. I think we spoke in one of the intervals on Saturday. In terms of speed and skill, you could say the Stars were a step ahead. But because of the back and forth nature of a derby game, with that the dominance wasn't able to show on the scoreboard.
No, I kind of expected that, just through circumstance, because I'm quite sure Whitley were in a similar position to us. I very much doubt they had any time for training during the week either. And I think you could really tell that on Saturday. I think both teams looked a little leggy for a good part of that game. It was a different game altogether on Sunday. But weirdly, I don't think Warriors put up anywhere near the same performance. They resorted to old school tactics, and especially in the third period, because they couldn't get their own way. I think they could probably feel it from the crowd. The crowd weren't happy. Very quiet, very subdued. A very odd atmosphere actually yesterday. Not from our crowd, by the way, because we travelled in big numbers yesterday, probably the most I've seen up there for quite some time. And obviously Stars fans loud and proud. Warriors crowd really, really not into it at all. Very strange, odd atmosphere. Mm-hmm. But it was, derby games are what they are, but I do feel that Warriors overstepped the mark yesterday. There's having an edge, and there's taking it too far. It was embarrassing at times. And if that's all they've got to offer, then I'm afraid mid-table is all they can expect, because there's no room for improvement on a goon show, I'm afraid.
Yeah. Talking about the travelling support, I saw the photo on Sunday afternoon before face-off. The Supporters Club account put a photo on, and pretty much the full block behind the bench was Stars fans. So that's fantastic to see, and again taking the support on the road, and the boys appreciate that, and kind of getting their rewards. And they say that the early goal from Mossy, then the Rowley scoring at Hillheads, I'm sure that went down very well with the locals.
There was actually a chirp just before he scored. Actually, one of their fans shouted out, "Great pass, Rowley," because he made a soft pass, which was he took the puck straight back and put it straight between the goalie's legs. The whole crowd just started laughing their heads off before they started cheering.
That sort of thing does come back to bite you if you're a vocal fan. But the Rowley scoring the Hillheads, love to see that. And then 2 shorties doubling our short-handed tally for the season in one afternoon. Like you say, Mikey with one, and then Shuggy with the other one, putting a seal on things. You mentioned Mark Turnbull again, getting the start at Hillheads. Again, didn't let himself down, splitting the weekend with Jacob, who we know came back after missing the Deeside game, so it's still kind of easing him back in, and the confidence that the coaching staff have in Mark to give him the second leg of a derby game, as we said at the top, shows you how much of a big part he is in the Stars, Carol.
Yeah, I'm glad they gave him the game. It's just reward for the performance he put in at Deeside, and also obviously he's. That's where his hockey career has mostly been. He knows that rink and that ice inside out. I'm really glad he got the start, and he's repaid that faith handsomely, because he had a fantastic game. just to annoy the Warriors fans further, I think that somebody who used to be on their roster has come back to haunt them in much the same way as Rawley did. So I'm sure it gave him a bit of a nice feeling to walk out of there on the end of a win. Even the goal, I think Jono's already said this, the goal that he did concede was an absolute pearler. There's no way that anybody's stopping that. It was a quality strike from Kyle Ross, really lovely over the shoulder shot. So he's not stopping that anyway. So everything else, nothing fazed him. He did kind of lose his temper a little bit for a call that was pretty ridiculous, and he might have said something to the referee. So yes, he's put us on a 2+2 penalty kill, but hey, nothing came of it, so we're all good with that. It was a great performance.
Yeah, and at the other end, Jono, the top line maybe is Mikey's side, Mikey's goal, but the top line not getting in the points, and Mossy scored, Rowley scored, Shuggy scored. So again, showing that depth of scoring, which has been a big part of the season so far.
Yeah, it's been absolutely massive. I think I mentioned it somewhere before. It was part of the Deeside game as well. Deeside's coaching put a lot of emphasis of trying to quieten down Michael Elder and Sykesy, and I can't remember who was on the line with them that week. It might have been Callum Wilkinson because Ian was away. And it just opened up the world for Mossy, Rowley and Connor, and that's as good as anyone's first line in this division. And so if you do try and keep that line quiet, there's going to be another line that's going to pop up, and that line's starting to click big time now. If you look at the points over the last 3 games, I think it is probably that second line that's picking up the majority of those. Granted, the first line's been a little bit disrupted with Ian going away, but he's came back, he scored a goal. We've got a training session coming up soon, and I think these lads are going to be finely tuned coming into the running of the season. And it can't just be better timing for the Billingham Stars to be in this position that we're in. We're getting stronger as each game goes on, and better performances and bigger games are coming along, and I think we're going to be ready for them. Yeah,
no, echo that. And for those who haven't seen it yet, would point you to our social for the link to Big Red Machine Radio. Carol caught with Fozzie and Mikey after the game on Sunday to talk about the Whitley weekend, rounding off 2024 for the Billingham Stars. Anything else on the derby before we look at the results and tables and things?
Yeah, I think you can probably look for breakfast and bands on Saturday. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah. Well, there's a one definite, obviously. I think Onyaro got a 5 game for fighting, so that'll definitely get looked at, and we'll see what else comes of the game. They say the shenaniganery, to give it its technical term, second half of the third period. But yeah, 2 wins, 6 points, perfect way to end 2024. We will end the first part of the podcast here. We'll take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll look at the results of the last couple of weekends, the league tables, cup fixtures, and then we'll head into 2025 and look ahead at the Sheffield fixture coming up. This is Starcast, the official podcast of your Billingham Town Council, Billingham Stars. Welcome back to the next part of Starcast, the Billingham Stars podcast here between Christmas and New Year. We've just finished looking back on the games in Deeside and the Whitley weekend. Since we've been away, 2 weekends of results, league tables. But since we've been away on the break, there has been breaking news. Who wants to break the news?
Yeah, going on, fire away. Obviously, the Hawks released Juranox and David Juranox at his request a week or so ago. His replacement in defence seems to be forward Peter Valusiak, who has returned to Blackburn after 2-3 years away at Deeside. So the Hawks have brought in another import, but an import forward. So be interesting to see where they go defensively with numbers light at the back.
And Valusiak obviously was slated to start with Deeside, but then the Wachowski thing happened, so being pretty much at home and that, so I don't know how game fit he is. So it'll be another one like the recent signing. Take a while to maybe find his legs. So we'll see. Obviously, we don't play Blackburn until any kind of knockout games or what have you. So we'll see what happens with that. But
we may not play them again this season.
Yeah, we might not play them.
We might not. We might not. Who knows? We'll see where. Still not news on anything on your, since we're talking about this, Jono, anything on your radar where Girona is likely to land?
Mine was I've just been speaking to someone there and he said the place he was meant to land might have fallen through.
So we shall see what happens.
Who knows there?
All right. Well, we should keep
I wouldn't be surprised if we saw him. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw him very, very soon.
When an NIHL insider, we'll see what happens. So as we were going to begin, 2 weeks of results. So we'll quickly go through these. So we'll start with the weekend before Christmas. Hull 5, Blackburn 10, Widnes 4, Deeside 10. 10 was the number on Saturday. And then Sunday, obviously, as we knew, it was Deeside 4, Billingham 6, Solihull 11, Nottingham 3, and going one better than that, Widnes 12, Sheffield 4. We'll do the other results and then we're going to talk about them in totality. And then the weekend just gone. Apparently on Saturday, Billingham beat Whitley 4-2 and beat them again on Sunday 4-1. And then Blackburn had their home game against Sheffield and won 10-3. So that's the scores up to date. Anything catching your eye? Anything you want to talk about of those results?
For me, I'll just say fair play to Widnes. They've had the critics this so far this year. They had a tough game on a Saturday hosting the Dragons, who we know who are a good side and stacked with forward talent. But to play Sheffield, a team that they are battling around the bottom of the table and give them a good hiding. Fair play to them. They've found some confidence and they've got a big win on the board.
Yeah, and that moved them up in the standing as well. So we'll see what 2025 does for the Widnes Wild. Anything from you, Carol? Anything on the scores?
The usual suspects putting up a canny few amount of goals that weekend before Christmas. We've got Solihull and Deeside and Blackburn all putting up too many goals.
Yeah, but and again, that Hull losing at home yet again. I think they're sub 500 at home now, so the home record well and truly out of the window.
Yeah, 6-7 at home, I believe they are.
Yeah, which is not what you would have thought as the season began.
No.
So all of those were put into the league computer, and this is the position after the games on Sunday the 29th. Billingham Stars, 23 games, 20 wins, 60 points, and there is a Q next to their name because we have already qualified for the postseason playoffs. We get another trophy for that as well. No,
I don't think we do. No, that's a shame.
So 20-3 your Billingham Stars. Blackburn have 2 games in hand now. Obviously, they only played once at the weekend while we played twice. They are 16-5. Deeside 14-7, just behind them. And then Solihull back into the top 4. They are 13-1-0-7, so 41 points from there, 21 games. Hull Jets down to 5th with 38 points from 22 games. Warriors only played 19 games, so they still have some games in hand, but they'll need to win them sharpish. They are down in 6th with 31 points. Nottingham in 7th with 24. Leeds 13 points. Widnes up in the 9th on 11 points. And Sheffield bottom of the table on 10 points. The weekend's games were also cup games, as we'd mentioned at the last show.
New cup table.
And the cup table has been updated. Billingham's last 3 games all counted to the cup, which gives us this standing. Billingham Stars played 8, won 8, and they qualify in top spot. Deeside takes second with 15 points. The Warriors go 4-4 in their cup games and miss out on the semi-finals. Nottingham and Sheffield had already finished their games. All of which means your North Cup or Morley Cup, whatever it's called this year, semi-finals will be the Billingham Stars versus the Hull Jets and the Blackburn Hawks versus the Deeside Dragons. Ties to be played weekend of the 18th and 19th of January. So obviously it's just been confirmed this weekend. So let the clubs talk amongst themselves and get the dates confirmed. And as soon as they are, I'm sure our social media will let folk know. Hull Jets, second year in a row for a cup semi-final for Billingham. And also it means we'll be playing them 3 times in 2 weeks, because we play them the week just before the cup semi-finals as well. Blackburn Deeside is a tasty looking one as well. Any thoughts on the cup draws? Jono, you want to start?
Yeah. First of all, it's our 3rd cup final. We're heading towards our first 3 cup semi-finals in a row. So obviously things are going right. I think a lot of players might have that wrong to put right from last year against Blackburn. So I think fully focused on this competition, with not taking our eye off the league as well, with the semi-final games coming up as soon as they do. I think it'll be foot down, pedal to the metal, as I say, and all out for this cup semi-finals when they arise. But yeah, two fantastic fixtures. The other fixture, the West Derby, is certainly going to be one to look out for, and I'm sure Deeside will have their eyes on this cup as much as anybody else has. They spent a lot of money on bringing guys in like Witkowski, and he is a game changer, certainly at this level. We found out just a couple of weeks ago how good he is. For as quiet as we left him, he still had some big moments. So the Witkowski versus Barnes showdown will be huge, and certainly if you're fans of those teams, you certainly don't want to be one of missing those games.
Yeah.
I think they get a preview this weekend, don't they? They play each other this weekend.
Yes, they do.
Yes, they do. Well, we'll see. We'll see how the land lies after this weekend. Anything to add on the semi-finals, Carol?
I do think I think Hull will be up for this on the basis that we have made them suffer quite badly in the league this year, and I think they've got a point to prove. So please do not anybody think that Hull are going to be some sort of easy game, because they're not. That said, I think Jono's right. We've got a right to wrong from last year, and you might argue even the year before, because we've still got the shudders when we remember the final against Solway. So it's there's a lot of baggage to unpack for both Billingham and Hull. The other one, I think that's the tastier of the ties. And obviously Velusiak just signed for Blackburn, so he's got a point to prove to his ex-employers. So there's added spice.
Yeah, with McKinney as well.
And McKinney, of course, meow, don't let me forget. It's all in there, isn't it? They don't really like each other very much, and I think that's one to keep an eye on, because Jono's dead right. You a fan of either team, or are you even in the region? I would be going to see those games.
Yeah.
If we didn't have games, I'd be there in a flash, by the way, because I think they're going to be beauties.
Yeah. No, looking forward to them.
And it's Hawks Cup to defend as well, by the way, so they won't want to let it go.
Defending champs.
They're just around the corner.
Winners.
3 weeks time. While we're talking cups as well, I mentioned for the Billingham Buccaneers, they're also in the cup semi-finals this year, and they're playing Telford, I believe.
Yes, they are.
And the Division 2 Cups semi-final dates are the same, so look out for fixtures coming out hopefully very soon to confirm Stars, Hull, and Buccaneers Telford. So we'll see what those can do in the cup semi-finals. So we'll continue on our agenda if there's nothing more on the cups, and go back to league action coming up for the Billingham Stars after the derby, and hopefully get a training session in this week, if the forum allows opening hours on Thursday possibly. Just a one game coming up for the Billingham Stars, and it's pretty much where I'm sitting, well, upstairs from where I'm sitting now. Back to Ice Sheffield and the Sheffield Scimitars on Saturday afternoon. And I think Carol said it when talking to Fozzie and Mikey on Sunday. We're back to league action. You don't want to look at it as it's only Sheffield, because as we've said before, down here on the big ice, we have come unstuck on previous occasions. So regardless of form and performances, we'll have to be ready to go, Carol.
We do, and teams have found that out to their cost this season. There's been plenty of upsets that we can look at and learn from. And you know what? Last time we went to Sheffield, we weren't at our best. Yes, we won the game, but I don't remember. It doesn't stand out in the memory as being one of our better performances. So do you know what? We have to treat each game like it's a cup final. This is, if the guys want to win everything that they want to win this season, then every game from now till the end of the season is a cup final. And it doesn't matter who's in front of us. We have to have that mentality. We have to treat it like we're playing, I don't know, Boshing Capitals. But we just need to have that winning mentality going in every single game. Yes, I know Sheffield are getting battered pretty much every game at the minute, which is unfortunate because you don't want to see those results. I don't want to see teams getting battered. I don't, because it's not healthy for the league. But at the same time, we can't be the ones that go into it thinking that we're just going to steamroller them, because we're not. So we do need to just make sure we're on our game. And I keep pointing this out, playoffs are at Sheffield. That we need to know how to play on that rink and bring a good game to that rink. So this is all opportunities that we should be taking. And do you know what? Sheffield have got some good players in there. Please do not take them lightly. They have got some good players in there, and their results, I think, are being particularly unkind to them at the minute. I think they're a better team than that, and we just need to make sure that we're not the ones that slip on that particular banana skin.
Yeah, just check the fixture. It was middle of October, and it was 5-1. But I think from memory, it was kind of a couple of late goals to kind of tot up the score a little bit. So it wasn't a comprehensive win by any means. So this week, Jono, as we said, training and be ready to go come Saturday afternoon.
Yeah. I think I've said it numerous times. It's about mindset and being in the right frame of mind and being ready to go. This Saturday game is as big as the weekend we've just had. Because if you follow up a weekend like we've just had with a loss, it puts all that hard work into the bin, basically. We've got to go there. We've got to be professional. We've got to be clinical. And we just got to put the foot on the throat. We can't be taking teams. We can't even be given, if it's 5 or 6-0, so what? You've got to just keep putting your foot down and going and going and going. It's nothing personal. We're not trying to rub your noses in any score lines, or we're not scoring 30 goals to take the mickey out of here or anything like that. It's just about being professional, doing the job right, and being as clinical as we possibly can, because we are now heading into 2025, and it's the business side of the season. The season doesn't go into the new year very, very long. It takes about 3 months, and then the season's done. So there's not many games left, and every game is now getting to be a bigger game every weekend that passes. So we've got to head into there with training. Hopefully they can get some reps in this week. If not, it's just about being in the right frame of mind and knowing how good we are and believing in ourselves and trusting in each and every one of each other to do the job and to turn up and perform.
Yeah. If we can't get training, we'll just turn up on the public session on Friday and just skate around under the lights with the disco music and get some reps that way. But yeah, hopefully, as I said, Thursday is a normal day. So hopefully the forum is open as normal for the guys to train and get ready for the weekend. But it's 4:20 here at Ice Sheffield on Saturday. And again, as Fozzie and Mikey and Carol in their discussions alluded, it would be great if the people who've travelled to Hillheads can make the slightly longer but warmer trip to Ice Sheffield. No jackets required, as Phil Collins would say here at Ice Sheffield. And the Saturday afternoon, if you haven't been to Sheffield before, it's a fantastic viewing rink, clean and light and bright and stuff. Great rink to watch. So we'll hope you can join us for that one on Saturday. It's a shortish trip, one of the shorter ones for the Stars. So I hope to see the fans in the numbers on Saturday. I haven't got the fixtures to hand, but you did mention Hawks are playing Deeside this weekend as well, coming. So
I do have them.
Go on then, Johnny. You can take the lead. You're the
Yeah,
far
so on Saturday, the same day, we have the Hawks and the Dragons, which is a huge game.
That's a massive,
massive game. Another huge game in league position is the Hull Jets hosting the Whitley Warriors.
Yeah.
Again, another big game. It's going to be a good Saturday, to be honest.
Yeah.
The Lions are hosting the Widnes Wild. That's a big game now as well, with the Wild turning fortunes lately. Then there's our game versus Sheffield. And then moving into Sunday, the Barons host the Dragons. Massive game again.
Mm-hmm.
The Warriors host the Hawks.
Wow.
Yeah, wow, indeed. It's a big weekend. And then the Widnes Wild host the Lions again. So that could be a naughty weekend for the Lions and the Wild, especially back-to-back games like that.
Yeah.
So that's a brilliant weekend to start 2025.
Yeah.
It is.
So we'll have to start talking about Super Saturday, not Super Sunday.
I've got a lot of catch-up on.
Just looking at that league table again, how close are the Wild to the... it's 13 points. But that said...
3 points for a win.
3 points for a win. So if Wild did get to 6 points, yeah, you never know.
You never know.
That's the magic, as we've said at the start of the season, about 3 points for a win. The gaps do look big, but likewise, the gaps can be closed fairly quickly as well. So an exciting weekend. I say Stars in action on Saturday, and then no doubt watching social media Saturday and Sunday, as we do, and we do it so well. So we'll see what the weekend brings. No doubt we shall talk about it on next week's podcast. But just to round off, something a little different instead of any other business. Although any other business, you can mention the player of the month vote, Jono, if you wish.
Yes, that should have just gone out in the last couple of hours ago. Or last couple of hours, I should say. So supporters club members, get your votes in. I think you've got quite a tough choice this month. So it'll certainly be interesting to see who comes out on top. So I look forward to seeing those. But get your votes in.
Yeah, we'll get that present the first game in January, which is the 12th against the Hull Jets in the league. First home game of the new year. But yeah, so instead of the normal any other business, just a quick kind of 2024 highlight, really. Anything from the calendar year, Carol, that takes your fancy to talk about?
Yeah, can I be desperately greedy? And I've actually got 4 things. Is that bad? I mean, I could shorten it, but...
Typical woman, always wanting more.
Our podcast, our rules, so yeah.
Our podcast, our rules. First and foremost, obviously, I've been watching Billingham for... I'm not even going to say how many years, because it's...
Used to have curly hair.
I did used to have curly hair, thanks for that. I also used to have hair that wasn't grey, so... yeah, I've been watching Billingham a long time, and I haven't seen particularly many title wins because we're just not that sort of team. So I have to put the title win at the top because I'm not going to lie, I got quite emotional in Hull, just because they don't come along very often if you're a Billingham fan, and it was... Obviously, the lead up to the title win had been slightly traumatising because it did look like we were going to do a proper Devon lock at one point. So I'm putting that
people will be going to Google to find out. Yes, Devon lock.
Yeah, sorry for all you kids out there. Devon lock, go Google. But yeah, that's obviously at the top of my list, just because I haven't seen very many title wins as a Billingham fan, which is both sad and also just proves the commitment that you have to put in. So that's point number 1. Point number 2, I'm always going to say the Teddy Toss because the Teddy Toss is brilliant. Point number 3, the work that the supporters club has put in this year, and seeing Alan's face at the presentation night, when we were able to, or the supporters club were able to present a cheque that he wasn't expecting. That was a highlight. And point number 4 is the number of new fans. I think you pointed it out earlier, Craig, the number of new fans that we're getting through the door every week, and the way that the crowd is both growing and getting more interactive with the team with every passing week. I'd said Whitley isn't quite the place it used to be to go and visit. But even so, I was chuffed to bits to see how many people travelled yesterday to see the team. That's the most in ages. That's the most I can remember in quite some time. And I hope that continues. I hope everybody has got the away match bug and decides to go to Sheffield on Saturday, which, by the way, is warmer, has a nice bar. It's nicer sight lines.
Lights work.
You don't usually have one of the opposition's netminders sat behind you giving you abuse. It's much better. So
cobwebs hanging from the ceiling.
Yeah, all cobwebs hanging from the ceiling. In fact, I think Fee was attacked by a spider. So I think those are my 4 things, and I'm very sorry for being greedy.
No.
Well, I won't for now.
Fine and dandy. Jono?
Yeah, for me, I think the special moment was that title win. Thankfully, I was able to get on the ice and record those moments. So we had video to show fans and keep the memories. I managed to get those celebrations in, and that was cool, just seeing what it meant to players up close and personal. So that was cool from my perspective, with the little fancy gimmick thing I had, and just recording, just watching their emotions was unbelievable. And to get the league title. One of the biggest things I think this is the work the sports club's done has been absolutely outstanding, and that's more not just the guys working the committee, but the fans supporting it and backing it and buying everything that we've got to offer. Some of the stuff is expensive, and we know we're not in the most affluent areas in the world, but the fans have been absolutely terrific in everything that we've bought and supporting us. One of my moments this year was absolutely humping the Hawks on home ice. That's probably one of the moments I've enjoyed more than anything in the last 10 years. We've been on the end of their crap for so long. I remember playing against them with 10, 12 men, and they've had the full little family pinging it around on a power play and literally ripping the mick out of us and putting goals 15 and 16 in. When we haven't travelled well for whatever reason. So humping them at their full strength, pretty much, humping them on home ice was a great moment for me.
Yeah. No, really good. As Carol says, the league title win, obviously finally getting over the line. The week after that, getting the presentation, and when we had the cup and when the fans came down, there was people on the ice and passing the cup around, and just seeing some of the players' faces and the fans and the families and getting them on the ice again. And it's it kind of shows that connection with I think Carol says, like the connection with the fan base, and I think we've said before, the kind of the community is around.
Yeah,
Billingham.
I don't think it's ever been as tight as it is right now, and it's fantastic to see.
Yeah. So that was nice. The kind of the week after winning the title was great. Yes, the Blackburn game, I'd actually queued up. Obviously, I don't do Hawaii 5-0, but I do Magnificent 7, and I'd actually started queuing up Perfect 10 by the Beautiful South.
I loved it.
I did have that ready to go, and we didn't quite get over the line, but yeah.
I think I might have streaked if we got 10.
I wouldn't do it against Widnes or Sheffield, but I would have done it on that particular game. But yeah, and just being part of the like you say, the last couple of years where you've been able to see the growth of the team coming through, say the COVID year, bringing everybody in from our non-existent academy, and kind of giving them the ice and seeing the development over the last couple of years, and now they are regular first team players, and seeing that growth and getting the rewards of the last couple of years. So that's been good to see, and hopefully 2024 obviously isn't the end. There's still plenty of hockey to be played next year and beyond, but it's been a fantastic year, and hope everybody's enjoyed it from the stands as well. It's been, as Carol said, and we've said a few times, there's still people coming in. It's their first time. I've loved it. I'm coming back, and we'll keep reaching out. We'll keep spreading the word. As I say, the media team doing their work, putting the social media out. Supporters Club as well are helping with that as well. So just everybody pulling together, as Fuzzy's favourite word, pulling on the same rope, getting in the same direction, and pulling the club forward. So it's been 2024 has been a very good year, but it's by no means the end. So yes, we'll look forward to more coming up. Anything else? We got all a bit serious and emotional there.
No, I am actually quite surprised Jono hasn't had his little rant that he said he was going to.
I'm leaving it.
He's leaving it.
I'm leaving it. Yeah, just cannot be bothered.
Why don't we tune into the next episode of Stick to the Pod and see what he says about it? That might be more the place to have a go.
Potentially, yeah. I just can't be bothered with it. That woman in Deeside got to me, I think.
Don't go changing, John. Don't be changing. But yeah, I may have spoken to Dylan. Dylan is actually here this weekend, commentating on the England-Scotland stuff. So,
I thought I saw him walk past.
I did see him yesterday when I came down, and I said hello from the Billingham Stars. He went, "Oh, what have I done now?" So yeah, so we have had a discussion. But yeah, we'll leave it at that.
Did he realize you're wrong?
Yeah, but I think we'll draw a veil there. I think it's a good point to leave it. Thank you for listening to Starcast. Do the usual on the liking and the sharing and the reviewing and putting on your social media wherever you watch or listen to the episodes. It is very, very much appreciated. I hope you can join us in Sheffield, about 20 feet away from where I'm sitting now. On Saturday afternoon, 4:20 face-off. It's that door, one of the doors. I'm always confused on the camera because I'm pointing the wrong way.
Yeah,
like if I want to point to Carol,
it's got me as well. Yeah.
If I want to point to Carol because Carol's that way, but I because I need to point that way, even though Carol isn't there. She's there. It's a man brain; it doesn't work. I
don't work for you, so I must be a man.
If you can join us in Sheffield on Saturday, that would be fantastic to see you at the Bauer Arena at 4:20. If not, next home game is the 12th of January against the Hull Jets. But whatever happens at the weekend, we'll talk about on the next edition of Starcast. But we'll thank you for watching. Thanks to Carol. Thanks to Jono. We wish you a very happy new year when it comes. Hope you enjoy it with friends and family and with some possibly grape juice or whatever is your favourite tipple. Be safe at New Year, and we'll see you in 2025. But for now, this has been Starcast, the official podcast of the Billingham Town Council, sponsored Tees Trophy winning Billingham Stars.
Thank you for being part of this episode of Starcast, the official podcast of your Billingham Stars. Remember to like and share this episode, send a review when you can, and follow us on social media for the very latest news and to find out when the next Starcast will drop.